Vadi Vadi Ramana Mahaguru Vadi Vadi Aruna Mahagiri Vadi Venkatan வாய் சொல்லும் பாடல்கள் வாழி ஊழித்தோர் அன்பர்கள் வாழியே. நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய அருணாச்சலா. Our purpose last week, somehow because of my inability, we could not have the session, and I wanted especially to talk around the Aradhana time about Bhagavan's composition called Arunachala Padigam, which suffuses with Bakthi of Bhagavan towards Arunachala, his father. Bhagavan has in many places claimed Arunachala is Bhagavan's father. He is my father, he is my father. He has claimed that many times in many occasions. And that Arunachala Padigam, and there is another thing called, anyway, we'll first, before jumping the gun, we'll go in sequence. First, we know that there is this Arunachala Stuti Panchakam composed by Bhagavan. Stuti means in praise of, Panchakam is 5. So 5 songs composed by Bhagavan in all without exception in praise of Arunachala. Out of which we have recollected the first song much earlier. It's called Arunachala Mahatmyam, the glory of Arunachala, which comprises of 2 separate songs, one composed by Muruganar and one by Bhagavan. Muruganar composed about Arunachala Tattvam, Bhagavan composed about Deepa Darshana Tattvam. And apart from that, there are 5 songs selected by Bhagavan from Skanda Mahapurana, which there is a portion called Arunachala Mahatmyam in Skanda Mahapuranam. Skanda Mahapuranam, incidentally, is the biggest of the 18 Mahapuranas that we have. And it's about the glory of Lord Shiva through and through. And it's called Skanda Mahapuranam. And Arunachala like that, Arunachala Mahatmyam, Kanchi Mahatmyam is there, and Thiruvarur Mahatmyam, all the places, Mahatmyam of all the places, of number of places are featured in Skanda Mahapuranam. So this portion of 5 songs is called out by Bhagavan from the Arunachala Mahatmyam portion of Skanda Mahapuranam. And 5 songs were translated by Bhagavan from the original Sanskrit into Tamil, and that became the first entity of this Arunachala Stuti Panchakam. The next entity of Arunachala Stuti Panchakam is the biggest and the most popular and the most important work of Bhagavan. We can say easily that this is the magnum opus of Bhagavan. This is the composition of Bhagavan. That is the well-known Aksharamana Malai, Arunachala Aksharamana Malai. We have seen that. We have started some classes on that. We have gone up to about 30 slokas. We will continue that. In order to people have to get a little familiarized, I am taking a little diversion from that topic into other topics, and we will get back to Aksharamana Malai chanting in that over a period of time, whenever it is appropriate. This Aksharamana Malai is considered by all devotees of Bhagavan who are there at the time of Bhagavan, when it was composed, and who are more familiar, knowledgeable with all that, that it is every single utterance of Aksharamana Malai is nothing but a mantra. It is like Veda. We have to treat it like how we treat Vedas. So we got to, when somebody asks Bhagavan, what is the meaning of all this written in Aksharamana Malai? Bhagavan said, who knows? It just came to me, I wrote. I am as no-wise as you are when you ask about the meaning of Aksharamana Malai. It came to me, similarly it has come to you. Keep chanting. The meaning of Aksharamana Malai is to keep chanting Aksharamana Malai. Is the verdict of Bhagavan. So yes, it is very beautifully written. It's a very, very beautiful love ballad, love song between that the Nayaki called Bhagavan has returned uh, in form of a marital garland to her Nayakan called Arunachala. So it is every single line is beautiful, beautiful, both for words and for the meaning it conveys. But initially, to start with, it's enough according to Bhagavan. You don't need to necessarily, if there is an opportunity, you can learn every word of Aksharamana Malai, the meaning of it. If not, chanting Aksharamana Malai is its meaning. So everyone over a period of time should be able to chant Aksharamana Malai initially by seeing the book. Later on, it will internalize. You will get it because it's easy for rote learning. It's not at all a problem because it goes in a sequence. One can easily appreciate that over a period of time. This is the second composition or the second entity in Arunachala Stuti Panchakam. The third one is called Arunachala Navamani Malai. These are 9 gems written by Bhagavan, all at different period of time for based on requests from different people on different circumstances and on different topics. They are not necessarily each song is not necessarily connected with the other one because these are all stray renderings which happened over a period of time and disjointed. But nevertheless, each one of them is all the 9 are fit to be called as 9 gems because each one is so beautifully written, so with so much of profuse meaning in each one of them. Like the first song we saw while we were discussing the article written by Kanakamal, which was translated in English, which I translated in English, that where we saw why Arunachala is greater than Chidambaram, why Arunachala is considered as the most important Kshetram because of its nature of Achalam always. There is no Chalam. Like in Chidambaram, it's full of opposite of Arunachalam will become Chidambaram because it's full of movement, it's full of energy. That's what Nataraja is all about because he controls the whole world through his energy, through his concert, Sakti, and he dances. When it comes to Arunachala, he completely settles down. Fully becomes total Achalam. So if they are two opposite, if you see it in that sense, there are two important rajas in Shiva worship. Nataraja is primal. He is the cosmic consciousness. He is the world. It's because of him anything that is happening in world and the entire Nataraja. Even now, scholars are giving more and more interpretation of Maharaja of Nataraja, and Western scholars have taken total interest in Nataraja. So much so that they have placed it in front of the most important particle science institute, which is happening now in CERN in Europe. And right in the front of the entrance, a huge bronze statue of Nataraja is placed there. Purely because what are they trying to do? They are trying to find out the base core material that is responsible for creation of the universe from their point of view. And they think that this Nataraja is, everything comes from that Nataraja. He is cosmos. So without the grace of Nataraja, we will not succeed. And the predominantly Western scientists, they have placed a huge figure of Nataraja. And when they want to see Nataraja before getting into their work every morning or every evening, whenever they come in. So Nataraja is given that importance. The other form of Raja, the other Raja is Tyagaraja, residing in Tiruvarur. This Tyagaraja is again, in one sense, opposite of Nataraja. He gave up everything. He did Tyagam of everything. He gave up everything and he became a Bhikshadana. We see this every in all the Ramotsavam of all the Shiva temples. One of the days will be dedicated to the worship of Bhikshadana, where Bhagavan will become a beggar. He will be totally informed. He will not even have a loincloth around his hip. He will be stark naked and he will be going to streets, to all the places, nooks and corners, and all the vendors, traders, everybody will contribute towards the Brahmotsava celebration. They are to whatever extent they can. So Arunachala, our Lord Shiva, takes the form of Bhikshadana, and because he is given everything in form of sacrificed everything. Sacrifice. The Tamil word is Tyagam, for sacrifice. So he is called Tyagaraja. So Nataraja is the one that rules. Tyagaraja is the one that sacrifices and lies low. These are the two important form of Shiva worship that we have. The most important of all, as we know, is Arunachala, because of he's neither this nor that. He's just Achalam. He's just settled. He's self. This is what people like us, like Bhagavan's devotee. That is why Bhagavan could have gone to any place. Why Arunachala Smarana came to Bhagavan when he was a young boy? It could have been any place. It could have been Chidambaram. It could have been Tiruvarur. It could have been, I mean, countless. Why do we have to? We cannot, there's no end in numbering, trying to number them. But since we talked about Arur and Chidambaram, I'm just saying that as an example. But why Arunachala alone came? The Spurana of Arunachala was always in his heart. It was just without his effort, it was coming, and without his even knowing, leave out effort. He does not even know what is Arunachala. He did not even know that Arunachala means Tiruvannamalai at that time. He did not even know Arunachala was a place in earth. He thought Arunachala is something great. That's all he knew. But it was constantly in him. The Purana of Arunachala was. So, beyond this, I don't think there is anything to talk about the greatness of Arunachala. Arunachala is Achala, and Bhagavan has always been that Achala. Even amidst thick of activity, it will appear that Bhagavan is doing so many works, he's doing this, he's busy, but his internal self, staying in the self, has never gone from him ever since he obtained that death experience in Madurai. So, that Achala was dancing and doing all the work. Just like the same Achala in Chidambaram is dancing and doing the job of Nataraja and ensuring that the whole world is functioning. The five kriyas of the Lord: creation, protection, destruction, veiling, and grace. These are the five forms of Nataraja. Nataraja does all these five functions for the sake of the world. He creates the world, he gives protection to the world, and at the appropriate time he destroys the world, so that the Uri Kalam, as it is called, so that the Mahapralaya takes place, so that the new fresh cycle will start again. And then he does the veiling act. The veiling act is nothing but that Maya comes and veils everything and projects the world. And then he offers grace on top of all. This is the function, fivefold function of Nataraja, that Nataraja does, Shiva, Arunachala does, in order to ensure that the world functions well. Now, in Arunachala, we saw he comes and settles in form of Achala. And as we have recounted many times, that this hill is, you see, Kailasha is the home, considered the home of Shiva, Shiva Mahadeva. It is a home of Shiva. Similarly, there are many places which are considered to be abodes of Lord Shiva. Arunachala is considered as Lord Shiva. It's never told that Lord Shiva lives in Arunachala. No. Arunachala is Lord Shiva. It is Shiva's heart. Shiva's heart is known as Arunachala. So, Arunachala is quite different from most of the other places in this one aspect, that it is never considered as a place, it is considered as the heart of Shiva. That is Arunachala. So, in the third song of Arunachala Stuti Panchakam, called Navamani Malai, lot of desperate songs are featured. 9 songs are featured. The fourth and the fifth songs are very unique, totally unique. These two were composed, they are the one and only work of Bhagavan, composed by Bhagavan on his own volition. Nobody asked anything. He composed these two works on his own because of certain internal urge he had, and there was no way he could escape from that urge. These two are called respectively. The fourth one is Arunachala Padigam, and the fifth one is Arunachala Ashtagam. Padigam, Padi means 10. Padigam means songs, 10 songs. So Arunachala Padigam contains of 10 songs. It should have been 10 songs, but it ended up to be 11 because when he was composing the 10th one, he composed the 11th one also. So for the sake of number, it became 11, but we call it as 10. Arunachala Padigam. This Arunachala Padigam is through and through in praise of Arunachala, in love of Arunachala, requests to place to Arunachala, and glory of Arunachala. This is all is the Arunachala Padigam has. And Bhagavan, nobody could have written anything more about Arunachalam. Bhagavan himself could not have expressed it in more, bhaktiful, in more ways in more soulful way as than written in Arunachala Padigam. It is extremely enjoyable to learn Arunachala Padigam and to keep chanting Arunachala Padigam as much as it is while doing Aksharamana Malai. Padigam is even more beautiful than Aksharamana Malai, I would say, because it just pours. The, Aksharamana Malai has some certain songs are about praise of Bhagavan, Arunachala. Certain songs talks about the teaching, and it's a kind of a mix. But this Padigam is pure and pure love. The first 9 songs of the 11 are pure love for Arunachala, and the 10th and 11th song talks about the magnificence of Arunachala and the way Bhagavan stands and wonder at Arunachala. So this is Arunachala Padigam. And the next one is called Arunachala Ashtagam, out of which there are 8 songs. Ashtagam is 8. The first 3 songs are they talk about the early boyhood stage of Bhagavan when this Arunachala Spurana started coming into his heart. And till the time he comes and first has the darshan of Arunachala in the form of hills, in the form of the holy hill, and wonders and stands wonderstruck. Just having understood, oh, this is Arunachala. So these are the first 3 songs, and the remaining songs, the other the 5 songs, they talk about the teachings of Bhagavan, the core teachings of Bhagavan, put in beautiful poetical format and with a lot of very beautiful examples. It is given in the next 5 songs. Now, as I told earlier, this Patikam and Ashtagam were composed by Bhagavan on his own volition rather than being prompted by anyone at any time. So it is obviously something extremely special because all the other things were we saw. Aksharamana Malai was composed for the sake of his devotees, begged him that when we go for begging for our diksha around the street, we need something to sing. So came our Aksharamana Malai. But this Patikam, Bhagavan, one day was, when he was in Virupaksha Hill, I think in the year 1916, 1916, he was sitting and suddenly one thought, one word called Karunayal Ennai, Karunayal Ennai, Karunayal Ennai was featuring in his heart, like a Spurana. It was just coming in his heart. He ignored it. Oh, whatever. Okay, fine, nice. Karunayal Ennai is very nice. I will come to the meaning. It's very nice, it feels nice, and but the word is not willing to ignore it. Again and again it feels. He is not able to think of anything, do anything. Only this Karunayalanai was dominating the entire being called Bhagavan. Nothing else was coming. So he thought, okay, somehow, okay, this is happening. Okay, I will do one thing. I'll just sit and compose a small poem with the word starting Karunayal. And this is how Muruganar has written 2 songs as introduction to this Arunachala Padigam, which he says, because the great Arunagirishan, Lord Arunachaleshwara, who is the doer, or Karta, who by his grace had taken Sri Bhagavan as his own by uniting with him in his soul. As the inner cause impelled Bhagavan's mind by his unceasing grace with words Karunayal Ennai, Karunayal Ennai, Karunayal Ennai. He, Sri Bhagavan, composed Pathikam and Ashtakam beginning with these words. You, who by your grace have taken me as your own, Karunayal Ennai Andani. You, with the grace, with your grace, you have ruled over me. You have taken me as your own by your grace. Karunai means grace. Karunayal Ennai. By your own grace, Ennai, me, you have taken. Andani Yanakku. You are the one who ruled over me, who who has taken me as your own. Karunayal Ennai Andani Yanakku for me. Then the song goes. We'll go to the song. So this is how Guru Ganar starts the introduction of how Padigam came about. This is a history of Arunachala Padigam. And the second song of the genesis or origination of Arunachala Padigam, he writes, when his father, the great Arunachala Shiva, who had taken as his own the great Muni, the divine Ramana, who had lost individual self, the ego, when he united with him, induced his mind by prompting it through the supreme power of grace, Arul Parashakti. He composed one verse after the other in Andadi form, more and more words flowing in succession. Of his own accord, he related the experiences to us that he saw, as he saw it. Now, Bhagavan now composed this Karunayal Ennai. He's starting with this word called Karunayal Ennai. He has composed a song in a particular meter. Then he said, okay, fine, beautiful. Now that I have finished my job, this Spurana is over. And next day, the very next day, this song Karunayal Ennai ends with a word called Anbe. Anbe means, oh, love. Arunama Malayenum Anbe. The great love called Arunama, Arunama, the hill of Arunachala. Now, this word Anbe, just like how the word called Karunaya Lennai was dominating him the previous day, started dominating him the next day. He didn't know he was lost. Bhagavan was lost. You know what is happening? I don't know. Exactly how that Karunaya Lennai was completely dominating his entire being. This word called Anbe was doing the same thing. He sat down as usual, started composing a poem with the word called Anbe. And okay, fine, this has happened. I will finish this also. He finished that song and with the Anbe, and that song ended with a word called Iraye. Iraye means Lord, oh God. The next day, the same Iraye started dominating. Similarly, for all the 10 days, 10 words, the ending word of the previous day's song was featuring in his being all through, and he had no choice but to write the poem. And this is how we have Arunachala Padigam. Purely because of some internal pressure created by Arunachaleshwara on Bhagavan for our benefit, this one has taken place. Otherwise, how can he explain? Why should somebody who's got no mind, why should this word dominate him? And why should he be helpless other than composing a song? And he did. This is the grace of Arunachala that impelled Bhagavan to compose this so beautifully, pouring love only for our sake. So this is how the Arunachala Pathikam came about. And at the end of Pathikam, the same way, one word started and then Ashtagam got completed. 8 songs got completed. Same Spurana, same old story. So, and when the last song of Arunachala Ashtagam got over, then it stopped. This troubling of Bhagavan with words stopped. And so, but in the bargain, we had two gems. We have obtained two gems in form of Patigam and Ashtagam. The first song of Ashtagam, Patigam. Patigam is what we'll see now, because it's full of bhakti towards Arunachala. It says, கருணையால் என்னை ஆண்டனி எனக்கு உன் காட்சி தந்து அருளிலை என்றார். This is the first line. Which means, கருணையால் என்னை, by means of your grace, ஆண்டனி எனக்கு உன் காட்சி தந்து அருளிலை என்றார். You have made me yours. Now, if you don't have it, after making me yours, if you don't grant me your vision, என்றால், if you don't grant me your vision, what will happen? இருள் நலி உலகில் ஏங்கியே பதைத்து உடல் விடில் என் கதி என்னாம். இருள், darkness, miserable, nali means miserable. இருள் நலி உலகில், in the world which is miserably full of darkness, what will happen if you don't give me your vision? After taking by your own karuna, you have taken me as yourself. After that, if you don't take me, if you don't show me your true vision, in this world that is full of darkness, I will be I'll die by longing, by means of longing. I will suffer intensely by means of longing, and my body, I will leave my body will go. So what will happen? What will happen if something like that happens? Okay, you have induced your love for me, your love into me. I'm happy about it. But after inducing that love, I never asked anything. I do not even know to ask anything. I did not even want anything. I was just sitting like a boy. I was just playing happily in the fields in Madurai with my friends. I was playing football, wrestling, and all that. Suddenly, you gave me your Spurana of Arunachala, and you also made me somehow, without anybody's knowledge, run away from Madurai and come to Arunachala. I've come also to Arunachala by means of your karunyam, by means of your karuna. You did all this. Now that I have come. Now, if you don't, is that all you wanted to do? Is this all? Now, if you don't show me your true vision, without, by means of longing for you every day, every minute, I will have to die. Beyond that, I don't know what else to do. What do you think I can do? So, if I die like that, what will happen to me? What is the purpose of all this? What will happen to me? Bhagavan is a little angry, and he's putting this question to Arunachala, if you leave it. So then he says, Arunanai kanadu alarumo kamalam. Without seeing the sun, will lotus bloom? Ever will lotus bloom? Arunanukku arunana manni, being the son of the sun, you Arunachala. Arunachala, there is sun, there is everything, but Arunachala is the sun for everything. Arunanukku arunan. Arunan means sun. Aruna is sun. It's a Tamil meaning. So, for that Arunan called sun, you are the Arunan, you are the sun, the son of sun. We say mind of mind, all this Atman has got all this, the ear of ear, the eye of eye, the tongue of tongue, and all that is words given for Atman in Kenopanishad. And similarly, here Bhagavan uses the term Arunanukku Arunan. You are the son of sun. Arunanukku, Arunana, Arunana, Arul Nani Surandhu Angu Arviya Perugum. And being that beautiful sun, grace abundantly flows, springs forth from you in form of a big falls, in form of a big falls. It gushes out. Arunana Manni, Arul Nani Surakkum, Arviya Perugum, Arunama Malayanum Anbe. So this is your nature. So the grace that pours out of you is known as Arunama Malai, the love called Arunagiri Hill. So the whole song is, if you, who by your grace have taken me as your own, without me asking, do not now graciously bestow upon me your true vision. the vision of self or Atma Darshanam. That is the true vision Bhagavan is talking about. What will be my condition if this body leaves me after my suffering intensely like this in this miserable world of darkness? The darkness means ignorance or mental delusion. Longing for your vision. So, you have pulled me, you have placed me here. Now you are refusing for some reason to show me your true vision, that is Atma Darshanam. And I am now like a fool wandering around this darkness filled, ignorance filled world with full of longing for the Atma Darshanam. And while doing so, if I drop my body, what will happen to me? What is the purpose of life? I don't even understand anything. Nothing seems to be adding up. Is Bhagavan's complaint here. Then he says, can a lotus bloom without seeing the sun? Oh, embodiment of love called Arunamalai, the great Aruna hill, where grace springs forth in abundance and gushes out in a torrent. You, being the sun to the sun, Arunanikku Arunan, the sun to the sun, the consciousness which illumines everything. That is Arunachala. That is sun to the sun. Can my mind lotus blossom without your true vision? So he is begging to Arunachala now, saying that you have brought me, you have done all that, but you yourself tell me, will my mind lotus ever blossom without obtaining your true vision, also known as Atma Darshanam? So, Bhagavan in the first song starts with Karunayal Ennai, Karunayal Ennai, Karunayal Ennai, by your grace, by your grace, by your grace, which was coming as a Spurana, and it's the first song with Arunamamalai Enum Anbe. Anbe, oh, the love called Arunamamalai, the great hill called Arunachala. Now, as we saw, this is the song, first song. For the sake of beauty, sing the first song one more time. கருணையால் என்னை ஆடனி எனக்குன் காட்சி தந்தருளிலை என்றால் இருள் நலி உலகில் ஏங்கிய பதைத்து உடல் விடில் என்கதி என்னாம் அருணனை காணாது அலருமோ கமலம் அருணனு கருணனாமன்னே அருள் நனி சுரந்தங்கருவியா பெருகும் அருணமாமலையெனும் அன்பே. Second song, the next day two. So we are getting into the scene two, as they say. Scene two, take one. It's happening. Actually, it has all happened like how a cinema shooting was happening in Bhagavan's case. Just like how scene after scene after scene was coming into the picture. So, Anburu Aruna Tala Aral Mirugai, Agatunai, Ninaindu Naindu Urugum. Anburu Arunachala. Anbu means love, we saw. So he starts with the word Anbu here. Anbu Uru Arunachala. Anbu Uru means the form of love. Uru is form, Anbu means love. The form of love called Arunachala. Aral Mirugu. Aral means forever. Mirugu means wax. So, Anburu Arunachala Aral Mirugai Agatunai Ninaindu Naindu Urugum. So, how should a devotee melt towards his Lord? By just like how a wax will melt when it is placed next to fire or in proximity of fire or in fire, the wax will totally melt. And this is how, obviously, a good devotee should melt towards his Lord. Now, this is how I agree. Urugum, unai ninaithu ninaindu urugum, andili enakku. I don't have that love. Bhagavan now says, for a person who should melt like wax, I am a person who does not even know how to melt like that at all. Andili enakku, I don't have that much of love for you. I don't have it. So, Anbinai Aruladu, like I'm a person who does not deserve, but still, Un Anbinai Aruladu, if you don't give me your love, then you have taken me as your own. Yes, I agree that I have shortcomings. I do not know how to be in the highest form of love with you, but you are the one who took me. Yes, you can't just blame me that I don't have the love. Why did you not give me that love? What were you doing? You didn't give me that love. Where will I go? Where am I going to get it? I don't know anything. But you have already brought me in. So, unbelief without the one who does not have love. So you cannot now say I don't have love and you cannot discard me. No, I will not accept this. This is not something. Unbinil vilayum. If you leave it like that, is that any good for you? Is that your love? Is that any way you will? Does it defeat your grace? He is asking Arunachala. After bringing me into your fold, you will drop me now, saying that I am not fit enough. Now I will. How long it will take for me to blame that you never gave me that fitness? Where am I going to get this fitness from? Otherwise, who else I know of other than you? For me, Arunachala. So if Arunachala is not going to give me the fitness, I can only blame Arunachala. If my teacher did not teach me my math properly and I failed and I'm going to go to the teacher and say, you didn't teach me well. The only teacher Bhagavan has is Arunachala, and the only thing is pining for is to be one with Arunachala. Now Arunachala says, somehow feels that he is not fit enough, he is not ripe enough, and he wants to abandon. This teacher first came, asked me to come to the class every day. I went faithfully to the class, and the teacher did not teach me properly. I was playing happily in the field, but the teacher wanted me to learn some mathematics and forced me to come to the class. And I went to the class, and the teaching was not happening properly, and I was dropped, and I failed. Now, who am I to blame? I would have at least been doing very well in my games that I was playing, and my time would have been much more happier than learning all this integration and partial differentiation and whatnot. I would have happily been playing basketball or whatever. This is exactly Bhagavan's mood is now. I was happy. You brought me in. Now you somehow feel that I am not fit and you are not showing me your vision, granting me your vision. So what is happening? He's saying, is this that is defeat your grace? No, it does not. Now, in the next half of the song, he goes on to say, Anbinil vilayum inbame anbar agattinil oorum aramude. What that means? Oorum means it wells up. So the love wells up from you. Arunachala, the form of love, having taken me as your own, does it befit you to ruin me by not bestowing your vision upon me, who am devoid of such love, by which I could think of you in the heart, soften, melt, like a wax in the fire? This is the first half of the sloka. The second half, oh bliss resulting from love, oh unsatiating ambrosia, welling up in the heart of your devotee. What is there for me to say? Your will is my will. That alone is happiness for me, oh, the Lord of my life. Now, Bhagavan, having been a little bit caustic in the first half of the song, then he finds the uselessness of being so cross with Arunachala. He feels that, okay, fine. Okay, he comes to a point of, again, surrender. He says, oh, bliss resulting from love. Arunachala is unsatiating ambrosia. Anbinil vilayum inbame anbar agattinil oorum aramude. The ambrosia that wells up from the heart of the devotees is Arunachala. That is the nature of Arunachala. It will keep welling up. So he says, okay, fine. Everybody says that you just ooze out from every pore of their being. The Arunachala's love always pours. It does not happen. It has not happened in my case, but still, he says, what is that for me to say? Okay, fine. People are saying that, and you are like that. I don't have anything to say. So, what can I say? Your will is my will. He surrendered. Okay, fine. If you give me your grace, happy. If you don't, also fine. I used to know a good friend in Thiruvannamalai called Sandhyaka, who always used to say, Vanda Mangalam, Pona Jayamangalam. Either way, it is only Mangalam. If it comes, happy, it's auspicious. If it goes, if it does not come, instead of coming, it goes, double happy. Vanda Mangalam, Pona Jaya Mangalam. So we should always be in that Mangalam. So here Bhagavan says, if you want, come happy. If you are not coming, still that is your wish. And your wish is my wish. I don't have anything on my own. I don't have a wish on my own. So he says, your will is my will. That alone is happiness for me. Oh my Lord. Oh, the Lord of my life. So, Iraye, that is what it means. Inbu adu yerku ennuir iraye. That is happiness for me, my Lord. Iraye is the last word. Now, he finished the second song. So, to just read the second song. அன்புரு அருணாச்சலஹழல் மெழுகாய் அகத்துணை நினைந்து நைந்துருகும் அன்பிலி எனக்குன் அன்பினை அருளாது ஆண்டனை அழித்திடல் அழகோ அன்பினில் விளையும் இன்பமே அன்பர் அகத்தினில் ஊறும் ஆரமுதே என் புகலிடம் நீ நிஷ்டமென் இஷ்டம் இன்பதற்கென் உயிர் இறையே. That is the second song. And now the word Iraye has already taken hold of Bhagavan. So now he says, Irai unai ninayum enname nanna enai unada arukkayittral ஈர்த்து. It means having by the rope, kair means rope. Having by the rope of your grace, your karuna, your karunya, with that rope, you have drawn me, who did not have the least idea to think of you again. He'll come back. How much ever he makes up his mind, he is not able to overcome the fact that he was pulled by Arunachala without his ability to even think of Arunachala on his own. So he says, having by your grace drawn me, you who did not have at the least idea to think of you, the Lord, you stood determined to kill me. Meaning, you drew me, and with the sole intention of killing me. That is all the purpose. I'm clear about it. And I've sort of understood why you are doing all this only to kill me. Yes, this is a grace working. Because here we obviously are talking about killing of the soul, not killing of the body. Body is a poor thing. The most poorest thing of all the thing is body. It is so jata. It does not know anything. But for everything we blame the body. Body does not deserve any blame at all if you look at it in the right way. We say body is my body is fat, my body is thin, my body is not okay. My body is. It does not know anything. It is all telling. It's all told by the mind. The entire culprit is the mind. The body being a jata. Body is already declared. Everybody knows it is a jata. So why go on blaming a jata? There is a piece of wood. You go and bang your feet on the piece of wood, and will you stand near that wood and keep on blaming it? And keep on shouting at it. Oh, foolish wood. Why are you here? And all that. Similarly, this body equal to the wood. It is a jata. It does not know anything at all. The poor thing is getting all the blame all the time for no reason. So here Bhagavan says, I know you are so in determination to kill me without leaving an inch, without even leaving an inch of life in the body. That is the purpose with which you have brought me in. Irai unai ninayum enname nanna. Nanna means to think. I have never ever thought of you, but you with your rope called grace, you pulled me on your own account. Now, Irai uirindri kondrida nindrai. Without any trace of life, you wanted to kill me. What wrong did this poor thing do? Poor thing called, what did I do? What is the biggest wrong did I do for me to be killed in this way? He's begging to Arunachala. I have understood your purpose. It is only to kill me. Yes, you have decided to kill me and you are going to kill me. And in the previous song also I have declared your wish is my wish. So you're going to kill me, kill. What else can I do? I can only get killed. That's all I can do. So what little obstacle is now that remains for you to not destroying me completely? The next line he says, இறையினி குறையன் குற்றுயிராக்கி என்னை வதைத்திடல் எதற்கிங்கன். Now, you decided to kill me. At least do the job properly, please, Arunachala. Kill me properly. You're not even killing me properly. You're putting the big sword on me. I'm half killed, half alive. Kutruyar, which means the word kutruyar has the meaning called half alive. I'm half alive. You have made me half alive and half dead, and you're torturing me like this. Either kill or allow me to live. You are not doing this. You are doing a half killing. Why, Arunachala? Why do you want to do this? Don't do this, Arunachala. Don't torture me like this. Instead, why you torture me thus, keeping me half alive? Oh, Arunachala, who are the Lord, fulfilling your intention. Your intention is to destroy me completely. Have you kill me? Please completely destroy me. And after destroying, may you live long years for eternity as the only existing one. He blesses Arunachala. He says, Arunachala, don't leave me like this, half alive like this. Kill me in totality. And after killing me in totality, you live. Forever you live as the only one person. Okay, it's enough if you live. I don't need to kill me. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gone. Ekana, the only one. Be the only one that lives in this whole earth, the whole world. Be the only one for ages, for eternity, for eons, as the only existing one. So Bhagavan, in this song, sort of asks Bhagavan, Arunachala, that if you want to kill, I know the intention is to kill me. Don't leave me half alive like this, half dead. Kill me completely. And he blesses Arunachala. Be the only one. That is the existence. We all have studied Arunachala is nothing but Sat, the existence. So existence is the only one that will be forever, forever, forever. All things, all Ekam, Eva, Advitiyam. Advitiyam is the only one. Sat is the only one thing that is there. Everything else is only a concoction, as we have seen, due to Maya, the wondrous power residing in mind. So he says, you be the Sat. Correct. This is the right way to be. Kill my ego. Why? First of all, that is your purpose. You're brought here to kill my ego. Now, don't leave me halfway. Okay, I'll for some time I'll be in Arunachala Smarana, for some time I'll be in Laukika Smarana, for some time I'll do this, that, wavering. This is what he means by Kutruyam. He says, don't kill me like this. Kill me completely. Kill my ego once and for all. Let me get rid of the ego once and for all, and full and final letting. And kill me. And after killing this ego, what happens? Only Sat is remaining. And that Sat we are always calling that Sat as Arunachala. So he says, Arunachala, you alone live forever eternally. That is, Sat alone will be there is implied. In this word, in the song, he has used a word called Irai Uyirindri Kondridan Indrai. It can have two meanings. One is Irai, that is you, Arunachala. Uyirindri, that is for me, without taking my life. Uyir means life, taking my life. Kondridan Indra, you waited to kill me. Irai Agiya Arunachala, that is Arunachala, the God called Arunachala, waited to kill me, take my life out totally, Uyirindri, to kill me, you waited. Now this Irai Uyir is taken has another way of understanding. The bhava, the anya bhava between Irai, that is Lord, and Uyir, which is Jiva. That is the bhava of Jiva and Jivatma and Paramatma are now thinking they are different from, the Jivatma is thinking he is different from Paramatma and always pining to obtain the grace of Paramatma and be united with the Paramatma. So now what happens? This Irai Uyir Indri Kondid, you wanted to kill me to destroy my feeling of separate Jiva, separate Ishvara, Paramatma, Jivatma. So that can be the very internal and focused meaning of Irai Uyirindri Kundridan Indra. You wanted to kill that bhava in me. Though from a superficial point of view, we can say, you tried to kill me. That is your intention. So initially that understanding will take place, and later on we can internalize that it is only the bhava of Jivatma and Paramatma are one that has to be come in, and the difference is what Arunachala is trying to kill here. And in this song, he finished with the word Vadi need Uri. Uri means for eons and eons and eons, for ages and ages, for eternity. So Uri, so the fourth song, has to start with the word called Uri. The third song is இறை உனை நினையும் எண்ணமே நன்னா எதை உனதருட்கயிற்றால் ஈர்த்து இறை உயிரின்றி கொன்றிட நின்றாய் என் குறை இகற்றினன் ஏதையே இறையினி குறையன் குற்றுயிராக்கி எனை வதைத்திடல் எதற்கிங்கன் இறைவனாம் அருணாச்சலயணம் முடித்தே ஏகனா வாழி நீடுழி. So with this Egana Vadi Niduri blessing, this Uri takes the fold of Arunachala, of Bhagavan, and the next song he says, Uriyil Varum Makalil Yenpan Udiyam Yadani Petrai. Uri means world. Also, there is another meaning of Uri. In the previous song, it meant for eons and eons and eons. And in the next song, Uriyil Varum. Uri has got the word called world. Uri means world. So, for people who are living in this world, people like me who are living in this world, what did you take from, what profit did you derive from me? Udiyam. Udiyam means, in a regular Tamil, you can say, Udiyam means salary. Sambalam. Udiyam means salary. So, what profit? So, salary is known as profit. What profit did you derive from people like me who are living in this world? Yadini Petra, you didn't make any money out of me. But Padinil Virad, Yerayai Katun, Patatinil Iriti Vaitanaye. Par means, Padinil Virad, Par means to completely, it's a void kind of a thing. So, without falling into the void, Yerayai Katun, this poor wretched fellow, you having saved me, you placed me under your safe place called your feet. You kept me fixed in that place called your feet. Adiyam Karunai, ocean. Adi is ocean. Adiyam Karunai, ocean of grace. Annale, O Lord. Yenna, when I think, Ahamiga Nana Nanniduma, very great shame will come to me. The feeling of shame will come to me when I think of the grace of your being. So, Ari, the ocean of grace, Annale, O Lord, when I think of the ocean of grace, my aham, my I, will be in great shame. Arini Aruna, Arini Arunachala, long live Arunachala, glory to you, Arunachala. உன்னை உன்னை வழுத்திட வாழ்த்தும் என் தலையை. உன்னை வாழ்த்திட வழுத்தும் என் தலையை. It means, in order to praise you, in order to bring your praise, my head will bow down. My head will always be bowing down in order to do the praise of you. Now, after taking a little bit of fight and everything in the previous songs, with what he opened actually very like a rebel, like a militant. He opened the first song. In the second song also he showed some semblance of being rebellious. Third song mellowed down. Fourth song he surrendered. So he says, "You have done all that, but if I let all that be on one side. Now that I know your will is my will, now I have accepted everything, and when I think of your grace, I my head will bow down in shame by means of only talking about your glory. Praising you is all I can do at this time. This is the what profit did you gain? Did you gain from me? He's asking Arunachala, what profit did you, Arunachala, gain from me by selecting me from among all the people living in this world, having saved this poor wretch, that is myself, from falling into the void of world of delusion or maya that you prevented. You kept me fixed at your feet or in your state. O Lord, who is the ocean of grace? When I think of your supreme grace, and and while I think of the supreme grace, I also come to think of my extreme unworthiness. So when I think of these two, I feel great shame. Glory to you, Arunachala. My head bows down, praising, adoring you. So this song he says, ஊழியில் வாழும் மக்களில் என்பால் ஊதியம் யாது நீ பெற்றாய் பாழினில் வீழாது ஏழையை காத்தும் பதத்தினில் இருத்தி வைத்தனையே ஆழியாம் கருணை அண்ணலே எண்ண அகமிக நாடனிடுமால் வாழினி அருணாச்சல உனை வழுத்தி வாழ்த்திட தாழ்த்தும் என் தலையே. So now this song is over with a word called Talai. Talai means head. So the next song, obviously, he starts with the word called Talai. தலைவனி என்னை களவினில் கொடர்ந்து உன் தாளில் இந்நாள் வரை வைத்தாய். Talaiva. Talaiva means, oh Lord. Talaiva is head. So head of a person, head of a clan is called a Talaiva. Political leaders are called Talaivars and all that. So, Talaiva, நீ என்னை உன் என் களவினில் கொடர்ந்து உன் தாளில் இந்நாள் வரை வைத்தாய். Just go to the meaning. Oh Lord, you, by stealth, kalavu means stealing, theft. So, by means of some stealthy action of yours, you brought me, and you, having brought, placed me at your feet till today. In Nalvarai, till today, you have placed me like that. And Talaivanin Tanmai Enna என்பார்க்கு தலைக்குடி சினையென வைத்தாய். If somebody asks, okay, now that you have placed me in front of your feet, at your feet, somebody comes and asks me, who is, at what, whose feet are you in? Who is this Arunachala? Can you tell me? And when such people ask me such questions, the only thing I can do is I can hang my head like this in shame. Why? Because who is there to explain your greatness? Who is capable of explaining your greatness? So you brought and placed me in your feet at your feet by means of stealth. Stealthily you did that, and when somebody comes and asks me, okay, you are at this feet of this person, you are there. Who is this? Who is he? I am not able to explain anything. I am not able to say even a word of give a word of explanation about who Arunachala is. Because can Arunachala's greatness be ever talked about in tongue? So he says, my head can only hang in shame when people ask me that question. தலைவனான் வலைமான் தனை நிகராதன் தளர்வனுக்கு அழிவு நாடிடுவார். Oh Arunachala, don't make me like a deer who is caught in the net of a hunter, who is totally enmeshed in that net that is laid by the hunter. என் தளர்வனுக்கு அழிவு நாடிடுவார் means, please, தளர்வு, the word தளர்வு means my wearisomeness. I've become so wearisome by means of all the tiredness that I've undergone in this world. So don't make me like this deer caught in the enmeshed in the hunter's net. And and because of that, I've already become very tired, too weak. So for my wearesomeness, find a distraction. Please destroy my wearesomeness. I, who is like a person who is caught like a hunter's, like a deer in a hunter's net. That is the world. I am caught ensnared in this world, just like how a deer is ensnared or caught in the nets of the hunter. So please, I've become so tired, fatigued with all this. Please find a way of distraction for all this fatigue. தலைவனா மருணா சல உளம் ஏதோ தமியனார் தனை உணர்தற்கே. Oh Lord, what? Oh Arunachala, ulam. Ulam means will. Yedo, what is this poor person? Who is this poor person to know who you are? So, where do I have the mind to know who you are? So, the whole song reads in connection. O Lord, having brought me to you by stealth, known, unknown to anyone, you kept me alive till this day at your feet. O Lord, in reply to those who ask me, what is your real nature? You have made me remain like a head bent statue because the nature of God cannot be expressed in words, being beyond the range of mind, speech, and body. O Lord, so that I may not be like a deer caught in a net, bring about the destruction of my wearisome suffering. Weary, I'm totally weird. Wearisome. My tiredness, kill my, bring an end to my suffering like this. O Arunachala, who are the Lord, who is this poor person, myself, to know what your will is. I do not know anything. I can only request you what you are going to do beyond this. I do not know. So, Tamiyan are, Tamiyan means this poor man. Who is this poor man? To really know what your will is. So, he finishes this fourth song by saying, Tanai Unadarke, Unardarke. So, Unardarke means to know. Unardal means to know. So, in order to know who you are, what your will is, who am I? I don't know. So, obviously, the next song, Tanai Una Tarke. Tarke means to know who you are. So, the Tarke holds his fort for the next song. Day 6. We have come in, we have entered into day 6 now. Tarpara Nalum. So, we'll read the song of the day 5. தலைவனி என்னை களவினில் கொணன் உன்தாளில் இந்நாள் வரை வைத்தாய் தலைவனின் தன்மை என்ன என்பார்க்கு தலைகுனி சிலையென வைத்தாய் தலைவனான் வலைவான் தனை நிகராதென் தளர்வனுக்கு அழிவு நாடிடுவாய் தலைவனா மருணா சல உளம் ஏதோ தனியனா தனை உணதற்கே. The next song he starts, Tarke, Tarpara Nalum Talinil Tangi, Tandalar Mandugam Mani. This is especially a very beautiful song. Tarpara Nalu, Tarpara means, oh, supreme reality. Nalum, always, Un Talil, Talil, at your feet. In the previous song, it declares that you have placed me at your feet. So, every day I'm at your feet now. And Tandalar Mandugam Mani. Mandugam means a frog. We have seen the Mandukya Upanishad also represents that only. Mandugam, a frog. I've come, I'm at your feet, like a frog living under the lotus flower. There is a leaf, I'm living in that leaf. Like how a frog lives there, I am living. Tandalar Mandugam Mane. The stem is Tandu. So, on top of the stem, the lotus blooms. Alar means lotus. So I become a frog, having been placed at your feet. So what I can best do, I can just keep living there, living there, living there. They call, there's a famous Penathu Tavalai, there is a famous uh, saying, right? A frog in the well, it cannot go out. It just have to somehow be within the confines of the well, live its life, die there. Nothing else it can achieve. Because the well is too high for it to jump up and come out. No way it can do that. And there is no, a well is a small place. This frog is caught in that well. Without knowing, it jumped into that well sometime at some point in time, expecting some lot of food there. Yes, it had its own share of food. But beyond that, what is life? Similarly, one who came and jumped into the ambit of Arunachala's grace is that now he is at this point in time like a Thandalar Mandugam, the frog that lives under the lotus tree, under the lotus flower, under the stem where there is a leaf. It just lives there. It can't do anything. It just can live there. That's all. It cannot jump up and go to that lotus flower. It does not have that energy enough to to perform that kind of acrobatic leap. So it's just that, just that. Now, instead of keeping me like that, சிற்பத நல்தேன் உன்மலர் அழியாய் செய்திடில் உய்தி உண்டு. Means, instead of keeping me like this frog, if you make me like a bee, a honey bee. So, if you make me like a bee, I can at least fly around and come close to the flower called Arunachala. Rather than being always at the feet, knowing nothing, being a total fool like a frog. Instead of that, so the bee which drinks the nectars from the flowers, to make you make me at least like a bee. What I can do? Ali means bee. I can fly up. I can come to you. I can come more close to you. If you are able to do that, I will gain salvation. So he prays to Arunachala, don't allow me forever to be, okay, for some time, for whatever reason you made me to be the frog. But is it not high time that make me like a bee, enough, and allow me to fly up and come up to the flower and enjoy the honey that is available there. If you make that, then I'll be able to gain something called salvation. So, செய்திடில் உய்தி உள் உந்தன் நற்பத போதில் நான் உயிர் விட்டால் நட்ட தூண் ஆகும் உன் பழியே, he says now. Now, he says, if during this stage, while staying at your divine feet, if I happen to die, if my life departs from my body, if I happen to die in the so-called worldly way of meaning what death is, if I die like that, நட்ட தூண் ஆகும் உன் பழியே, what will happen? A column. There in those days, there used to be a thing called they plant a column in order to talk about the glories or whatever about the person who deceased, about his life or whatever. It's a tomb kind of a thing they will erect and they'll put all the thing about the person. So Bhagavan says here. So if while I remain at your feet, if I happen to lose my life, you will be blamed. You will be that agum un paliye. That is, you will have to take the blame for my death. It will be clearly declared in that tune. Tune means column. It will be clearly declared that you are responsible for my death. Verpuru aruna virikadir voliye vinnidum nunnarul veliye. Verpu means hill. Verpu means hill. Verpuru, the one in form of the hill. Aruna, the red hill. Virikadir oliye, spreading the ray of light. Vinnidum nunnarul veliye, which is more subtler. It is your grace, is more subtler than wind. Wind means space. So he concludes this sloka by saying, Vinnidum, your grace. So ultimately what it means, don't allow such thing to happen. Don't allow me to be forever like a mandugam and then not become like a bee and then die at your feet and then gain all the blame because you are too much graceful to get this blame. Please don't get this blame. He is sort of beseeching Arunachala. O Supreme Reality, though I have always remained at your feet, I am still like a frog remaining at the stem of a lotus. That is, I am still unable to know your true nature or your true greatness. If instead you make me as a flower bee which drinks the excellent honey of the state of consciousness, the state of true knowledge or jnana, there will be salvation. That is, I will attain salvation. Oh, light of spreading red rays in form of hill. Oh, space of grace, the space of self or akasha, more subtler even than the physical space, than the space called akasha. If you let me remain like a frog and do not make me like a flower bee, if in this condition I leave my body at your divine lotus feet, it will forever be standing there as a column of blame for you. So avoid it. Very yeah, he says. Let us sing this song. தற்பரா நாளும் தாளினில் தங்கி தண்டலர் மண்டுகம் மானேன் சிற்பத நல்தேன் உன்மலர் அழியாய் செய்திடில் உய்தி உண்டுந்தன் நற்பத போதில் நான் உயிர் விட்டால் நட்ட தூணாகும் உன் பழியே வெற்புரு அருண விரிகதிர் ஒளியே விண்ணினும் நுண்ணருள் வெளியே. We close the sixth song with this, and I think with this we'll have one more session to. I don't know. I can go on. I can go on. I can go on. But it depends on people. People may have other work because of schedule time. We have past of schedule time. I have nothing. I can keep going. But if we want, we can easily do that in the next session also, because we have 5 more songs to bask into, so that we can do. Arunachala.